Okay, and that's two equations. That's x minus 3 equals 6, x minus 3 equals minus 6. What does that become?
And you get 3, and then you get or no, you would get 9 and -3.
Good. Okay, let's look at another one here, kind of this base case. X squared minus 4x equals positive 1. Okay, why don't you try solving this one on your own and letting me know if you have any questions about it as you work through it.
X minus 2 and squared is plus 4. 4. So I got x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 5.
Yes, that's correct. This ends up being plus 4, x minus 2 squared equals 5, x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 5, x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 5. All right. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. So we're not going to do these next couple of problems, but I just want you to see that they are like what to do to solve them, because they're this base case again. But I've been giving you all the problems where the number is on the right already. Your first step is always to move that number to the right.
Okay.
Okay. And then similarly with a problem like this one here, same idea. Like, and these could really be reorganized in a lot of ways, but your goal is to get the x terms on one side, that constant on the other. All right.
Okay.
So now the next type of problem you might see is something like this here. And you know, these are, everything from here is just deception to make it more difficult. It's the same process. So we're going to move that minus 24 to the other side of the equation. Okay, and you're thinking no big deal, right? What's the problem with cutting this number in half?
It's a fraction.
Yeah. And I don't like it, but that's what it is. It's a fraction.
Yeah.
So to figure out what goes back here, you have to square that number. Can you give me that number squared, please?
25 over 4.
25 over 4 plus 25 over 4. And unfortunately, you do have to combine these. So common denominator here will be 4. You're multiplying the top and bottom by 4. So that ends up being 96 over 4 plus 25 over 4. Which is 121 over 4.
Okay. But the good part about this is you can leave that because it's 11 over 2.
It is when you take the square root. So it's x minus 5 halves equals plus or minus 11 over 2. Add 5 halves to both sides. Could you give me the 2 answers for this, please?
No. So I got 16 halves or 8 and -6 halves or -3.
Good. So sometimes it works out nicely. Okay, but it won't always. All right, so kind of what we're working on right now is when that middle number is not a nice number. So let's go x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. I want you to try solving this one, please.
Okay, so that'd be x minus 1/2 squared equals 0 plus 1/4 equals 1/4. And x minus 1/2 equals square root of 1/4. Square root of 1 over 2. Oh, so it'd be the square root of 1/2. So then
this one does work out nicely. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
X equals. So then X equals 1, X equals 0. So I got X equals 1 and X equals 0 for my solutions.
Okay, small mistake somewhere. Let's take a look here. So the you take half of 1, so X minus 1/2 squared. And then what goes back up here? I think you said it earlier.
1/4.
Plus 1/4, but you got to do that to both of these.
Wait, how'd you get 2? Oh, I forgot to move the number over.
You have to move the number over. There's no other way to do this without moving the number over.
Okay. Minus 1/2 squared equals 2 1/4. Square root of 2.25 is what?
It is a nice number. I would make a common, well, your calculator will do it, I guess, as well. That's another thing to consider.
It's 1. Okay. X minus 1/2 squared equals 1. And then you'll get 1.5 and 1/2, negative 1/2.
Are those your final answers?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the square root of, like you said, it's 9/4. So X minus 1/2 equals plus or minus 3/2. So when you took the square root of 2.25 in your calculator, did you get 1.5?
No.
Okay, so you do have to take the square root of that. This ends up being 1/2 plus or minus 3/2, like that.
Okay.
So 1/2 plus 3/2.
Oh, I know what I did.
Minus 3/2.
I did it. I put it in the calculator as 2.5 divided by 2.5. Like I was squaring it.
That's okay. It happens. All right, so here's another problem for you to think about here. X squared minus 3x minus 3 equals 1. Okay, so this one you're going to solve by completing the square, but like you said in the last problem, you have to do what? You have to move the constant over.
To move it. So X minus 3/2 squared equals 5/2, which is 11/2.
Okay.
And square root. And then I don't think this one works out nicely. X equals 3/2 plus or minus square root of 11/2. This is what I got.
Okay, so this one I thought worked out nicely. Let's look here. X squared minus 3x equals 4. X minus 3/2 squared, because you're cutting it in half. Tell me the number that goes in each of these positions.
So 3/2 and then.
But you're squaring it.
Yeah.
3/2 squared is square the top, square the bottom.
9/4.
9/4. Okay. Is that different than what you have? So I heard 3/2 and 4 to 8/2, which is true, but that's it's gonna be a little different here. So why don't you try solving it from this point forward here? You'll find it works out fairly nicely.
16, that's 25/4. So then X minus 3 squared equals 25/4. So then X equals 5/2. And 3/2 plus or minus 5/2. Then you get X equals 8/2, then X equals -2/2 or -1.
That sounds a whole lot better here. Yeah. So if you're not writing the final fraction, you really probably want to try to do that. And then square root of both sides, x minus 3/2 equals plus or minus 5/2. And then, like you said here, you got to combine them together, plus or minus 5/2. So you end up getting 4 and -1, like you said. Keep in mind, the original could have been solved by factoring, and it might be good for you to do that kind of off to the side so that you know the solutions that you're looking for. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, let me do this over here in blue. This would have been x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. You bring that 1 to the left, x minus 4, x plus 1, like that. So x equals 4, x equals -1, like you said. And that's just something maybe you do off to the side to make sure, like, you don't want in any way to suggest to your teacher that you're using factoring, but you do want to sort of say, hey, I wonder if there's another way to do this. All right. So now let's move to the other type of problem you might see. Let's say it's something like this: 3x squared plus 18x equals -24. And this is the type where you're factoring out the number in front. Okay, so there's a 3 that comes out. This becomes x squared plus 6x, leave a space. The part inside parentheses should look a lot like what you've already done. Okay, so condense this for me. What does this become when you bring it down? What goes inside the binomial here?
X plus 3.
X plus 3. And so
squared.
What goes back?
So that 9.
9. And then in this, what I've been doing in red over and over again, you have to distribute the 3 in.
So 27.
Plus 27, plus 27. All right, and then you have bring this 3 down. All right. Now, what do you do first to solve this bottom line?
Divide by, or no, take the square root.
You got to divide first. You can take the square root. You're making more work for yourself, though. So if you divide by 3, that's x plus 3 squared equals 1. And then what does so
then you get so then -2 and -4.
Yes. So this one worked out nicely, and I'm doing that just to kind of make these numbers make sense. We need to now kind of do the ones that aren't so nice, unfortunately, to kind of like make this, go make more sense here. Okay, so here's one. Let's say it's like 2x squared minus 12x minus 15 equals 0. What is the first step in solving something? Actually, let me use a different number here. Sorry, I keep using the same number. Let's use 8x. I gotta change this number now. Sorry, let's go 28x. That will work. Okay. What's the first thing to do here for completing the square?
Move the 15 over.
Yeah, so 2x squared minus 28x equals 15. Factor a 2 out. All right. So what do we do from here? What's the next thing to do?
Divide, so do like the x equals to x minus 7.
Good. So what goes back in this position?
49.
Plus 49. And then what goes in the next position?
98, I think.
Good. And that's the one you do to both sides. All right, so this one ends up equaling 113.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
So again, we're kind of into the ones that don't work out nice. Divide by 2.
And get like 50 something.
Yeah, this one doesn't work out. Have you guys talked about rationalizing much?
Yep. So then
this-
it's you can't really rationalize it though.
You can rationalize the denominator, meaning you can multiply the top and bottom
Yeah.
by, and all
And
it
you
does
get
is
216
exactly. And you,
over 2.
yes, and you're
You square
expected
root
to
of
do that.
216.
Yes. That's great. So plus or minus 216 over 2, and then you bring the 7 over. So x equals 7 plus or minus square root of 216 over 2. Good. That's kind of the question that I would expect you to see tomorrow on your test or quiz. Here is a new one for you to think about. Let me make a small modification to this one. Yeah, let me not write it that way. Let's go 4x squared minus 8x minus 17 equals 0. So go ahead and try solving this one. It's a lot like the one we just did. Might work out a little better than the last one.
4x squared minus 8x minus. So I'll move space equals 17. I divide by 4. Minus 2x equals. And that's 1, so it'll be x minus 1 squared. 1 squared is plus 1 plus 1. So 4 x minus 1 squared equals 18. Divide by 4. X minus 1 squared equals 18 over 4. And you get x minus 1 equals 9 over 2. So then square root of 3 halves. So it'd be x minus 1 equals square root of 6 over 2. So x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 2. So I got x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 2.
The only issue is with this number here. So let's take a look here. 4x squared minus 8x equals 17. Factor the 4 out. X squared minus 2x, leave a space there. So hopefully this looks okay. Did you write x minus 1 squared like that?
Yep. And then I got plus equals 18.
Well, you add 1. It's 1 negative 1 squared is 1, but then you have to multiply.
Oh, you have to add multiply by the 4 because.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you're really close here. Why don't you see if you can clean it up from this point forward?
Okay. 1 times 4, so that's not 18. It is 21 over 4.
Right. So x minus 1 equals plus or minus square root of 21 over 4. And then x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 2.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's try another one here. Let's go. There's only so many of these that I can come up with. Like they don't have like infinite possibilities. Plus 12x, and then let's go minus 10. No, minus 20. equals 0. Okay. So first thing here would be to move the 20 over like that. It's like we've been doing.
Okay.
What do you do next here?
So after you move the 20 over, probably factor out the common thing. Yep.
So -3. What goes inside parentheses here?
X minus 4x.
X squared minus 4x, leave a space.
Mhm.
And then what goes in this parentheses down here?
X minus 2 squared.
Okay.
And then square that, and you get plus 4, and then you get equals, what is it, 20 plus or minus 12. So X
All right.
minus 2.
All right. So I made a sign error. Let me quickly correct that. This will be plus 20 and minus 20. That way this thing works out.
Oh, okay.
So
So then negative 20. So then equals -8.
This one's, they're both the whatever the
Oh, they're
whatever's here
both
goes here.
okay.
Yeah.
So equals -32.
-32.
So
And actually
then
that
X,
number's, let me help out here because this didn't work out nice. I didn't think this one through. Let's make that 21. So that's 33. And now we've got something here.
okay. So
All right.
X minus 2 equals square root of negative. So no real solution.
Now you divide by -3.
Oh yeah.
You got to divide by that number first.
Yeah. So then you get 11.
So it's plus or minus the square root of 11. Add 2 to both sides. X equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 11. Like
Yep.
that.
All right.
Okay. So just to be clear, the half-hour lessons are only 25 minutes because I need a little break. But what I would recommend doing, Braeden, if you have time, is redoing any of the problems we did today or the ones last night. The ones last night especially will look a lot easier now that you've had another little session on this. I'm not talking about hours. I'm talking about like just another dedicated 20, 30 minutes. And I think you'll have it down. But the process is exactly the same. Don't forget to divide. Don't forget to move that number over. I think you'll have it. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop here for today.